Okay, step by step on exactly how to utilize this snapshot and our chat completions endpoint to be able to follow up with your leads indefinitely using AI. So I'm going to walk through this extremely slow. I'll explain the process. I'll explain exactly how it works. I'll show you exactly how to set it up. You're going to see me put in everything myself. And you can just follow along, and I'll show you it working and some levers that you can pull. But this will allow you to follow up with your AI assistant leads, or you can use it in your other workflows. So we'll start here. This is the snapshot environment. I'll show you the workflows, and then we'll walk through putting this together and the different parts that we need to bring into it to make it work. Okay, so this is the snapshot. All this adds is a folder of workflows, just 3 workflows, and then 2 custom fields. That's it. The custom fields are not 100% necessary as far as both of them, but we do have a counter for the amount of times that's following up so that you can have a safety limit. Okay? So how this works is it's a looping follow-up. And so we have 3 things going on here, right? We have a message event, we have the actual workflow to follow up, and then we have a fallback here for our goal achieved to take them out of these 2 things in case they're not caught. So to walk through this, just before I click into the workflows, how this works is when you receive a message from a contact, what it's going to do is it's going to enroll them into here, into this forever follow-up. This forever follow-up is going to go through some checks to make sure that, one, that this is an AI lead that we're talking with, an AI contact that we're talking with. And if it is an AI contact, after the 24-hour waiting period, if an appointment book hasn't been achieved, then we'll begin our follow-up process with a check every 24 hours. Now, you'll say, well, how do I, take them out, put them back in? That's what this does. So the assumption of a conversation with a lead, right, is I talk, lead talks, and then I talk, and AI speak, right? And so the assumption is just from the cadence of a conversation, I reach out to the contact, all right? Nothing's happened yet. The contact reaches back out to me, in which the contact will be enrolled in here because of the trigger event is a customer replied, which puts them in here. All right. And then, of course, the AI will respond. So now the ball is in their court. Now, they'll either do one of 2 things. They'll either respond or they won't. If they respond, they'll go back into here, which takes them out of here, resets this whole thing, and then puts them back in. That may be a little confusing, but it's just resetting everything. It's just looping through what would be a follow-up. And on the opposite end of that, if the lead does not reach out, then we have our cadence here for follow-up. And so just to click in here and show you, we have the customer replied. We have it taking them out of that workflow because a contact can't be enrolled in the same workflow twice. So we're just using this to take them out and put them back in. Taking them out, putting them back in. You see it's the same thing. All right. So that's just kind of looping this right here. Now, how this works, it's not too crazy, okay? Follow me here. What we're doing is we're just recording the last message date. So the last date that they messaged us, you can reference this in your prompt, which I'll show you here in a minute. Otherwise, it's just being a recorded field. Nothing you have to worry about here. This is just checking for the contacts that are getting enrolled in here, if they are in fact an AI lead or not. And we will know this by the tag that is on them. So they'll have our assistant tag. If they don't have our assistant tag, then they'll just be taken out. No worries. But if they do have our assistant tag, great. Then it's going to start this right here. And what it's doing is it's waiting 24 hours. So 24-hour wait, compliant hours. That's going to be our follow-up cadence here. After that 24-hour wait is complete, what it's going to do is it's going to check if a call to action that we set is complete. So this one is set up for appointment booking, but you may have paid invoice, you may have signed document, whatever it is here. This is just going to check, did that get accomplished? And if it did, it's going to take them out, right? We don't want to follow up with those people who have accomplished what we want them to. But if they did not, book an appointment, pay an invoice, sign a document, then we're going to continue on with our workflow here. I hope you're following me up to this point. All right. This is just, again, another safety check to just say, is this person, have they been followed up with too much or not? And so here's where we set our limit on how many times, ultimately we want them to be followed up with, just so that we're not spamming somebody. And if our limits are reached, we'll take them out. And if our limits are not reached, or we're under our limits, we haven't reached, 5 or 10 or whatever you set here, then we're going to move on to the actual sending the follow-up here. And so what this is this is a webhook that I've already set up everything you need to do. You just need to put in some API keys, everything you need to do. And what this will do is in an SMS channel here, it's going to take your conversation with the contact, and it's going to use this prompt that you put in here. This prompt works just fine. It's going to use this prompt to follow up on that conversation. And it's going to go ahead and send the message on our system. So you don't have to even worry about, putting a message here afterwards and then, filling that message out. It's going to already do that for you. So again, nothing you have to worry about. The only thing here that you have to do is put in some keys. And then we're just going to do a safety check. Did this completion go through? Did this API called, go through? Did you put in your API keys correctly? And all that fun stuff here. Did it go through? Yes. Awesome. Retry. And then, of course, we're going to keep up with how many times we followed up with this person. Again, all data is good data. So we're going to keep up with how many times, because we can set that limit here. So if we hit a certain amount, then we can just take them out. If not, they'll continue with our follow-up cadence here, which just, if this succeeds, great. Put them back in this 24-hour wait where they'll do it all again. And then if there's an error, what we'll do is we'll send an internal notification just letting you know, hey, something's going on. Why don't you check your webhook, make sure your keys and everything are inputted properly, and then we're just going to, reattempt it, 24 hours later, give you a time frame to do everything here. And so you say, well, does this put them in an infinite loop? I mean, what if, they're talking back? I don't want it to continue to follow up. That's what that other workflow was for. So while they're kind of in this cadence here, right? At any point in this 24-hour wait, anything here, if they reply, they'll be taken out. So this whole thing just kind of resets, right? And again, we don't have to add message logs because we're just going to use the Assistable system. But it allows you to loop follow up indefinitely for as much as you want with coherent AI responses. And then just on the back end of that is just as a catch-all here, this is goal achieved. So whatever it is, again, appointment booking here, I'm just setting a workflow trigger just to make sure that when that thing happens, if it's not already accounted for over there, that we're just taking them out of that follow-up just to make sure. Okay, that's the 3 things. Explain that probably a little too much, right? But I just want to make sure that we know what's going on because I'm sure I'll get questions on it. And now you at least have a basic idea of how this thing works. Okay, now it's implementing it. I'll have a full guide for you here. You'll have this video that I'm recording now to basically get you all set up on this, and we'll test it together. So I'm going to pause this and get the snapshot real quick. Okay, so I'm in my agency dashboard here, not a sub account, agency dashboard. The snapshot will be here. You just click on this, and it'll allow you to put it in your agency dashboard, and you'll see it under snapshots. To put this in a location, we're just going to use this one. We'll go here to manage client. All right. We're going to load a snapshot, and then I'm just going to put Assistable.ai forever follow-up. That's the one that's set there. I'm going to proceed. Now, the custom fields here, there's just a couple of them. The rest of these are GoHighLevel fields. It's fine. Dashboards, it's fine. Review settings, you can take that out. Again, if you just want to make this easy, just keep all because this snapshot is in a new location, so it's just all new stuff. Make sure you have these workflows. Make sure we have the fields associated. That's going to allow us to, keep track of and count, the follow-ups and everything. So we'll go ahead and proceed. It's going to check for conflicts. All right. I already have these in there. I've taken the workflow, out, but we're going to go ahead and just overwrite these. Proceed. Confirm. Overwrite. Great. Now this is being put in the sub account as we speak. So let's go into the sub account. All right, so I'm going to go into automation, and you should see this folder in here now. Great, just like we saw it in the snapshot here. In fact, I'll come out of the snapshot. Now, following this guide, once we have the snapshot in, we need to go get two things. So we need to get two API keys, one for the Assistable connection, and then the other for our LLM. And just for reference, for those who are real techie or like to play around with different models, this endpoint allows you to use, it's located in here if you want to reference it, allows you to use all these different models. So Claude, Llama, Google, Mistral, OpenAI, whatever you want, this will all be here for you to see. Now, I do not recommend Claude because Claude requires a proper assistant user coherent conversation, meaning there's no queuing, there's no follow-up messages, so Claude literally won't let you. So any of these other ones are fine. If you just want to make it easy on yourself, OpenAI. And it's already pre-programmed with this one, so nothing you need to do. But for those who are going to go outside of those parameters, these are the keys you need to go get. Grok for these, Anthropic for this, Mistral for this, OpenAI for OpenAI. Okay? Now, we'll start with this first one. We're going to get an Assistable key. So we're just going to go to the Assistable dashboard. So this is going to be Assistable.ai/dashboard. And this will take you to the admin portal. So I have my admin portal pulled up here. All right. We're going to go to integrations. And you should see agent-centric REST API keys. All right. What it's going to do is you're going to create a key. You'll just input your password. Generate a new API key. And then there's your new API key. I'm going to copy that. And you can just kind of store it wherever, but we need this API key. The other one is for your AI provider. Again, make it easy on yourself. It's already pre-programmed with OpenAI. Use OpenAI. If you're going to use the other ones, there's where you find them. But I went ahead and went into my OpenAI, and I got an API key. And don't worry, this will be deleted after this video. So I need this, and I need this. Two API keys. Now, let's go into configuring this thing here. There's nothing we really need to do with this one. You can leave this one alone. We're going to start with this one. Okay? So, going down, nothing you need to do here. This is just recording when the last message was sent, so you can reference this in your prompt. So say, you can say today's date. The last message we sent was this date. And you can use that in your prompt if you want to get fancy. If you're not going to do that, don't worry about it. Here, all you have to do is say tags include my AI assistant tag. So this is my AI assistant tag. And all this is saying is making sure this is an AI lead is obviously the tag here is going to match what is my assistant tag to make sure they're an AI lead. So I'm going to save that. All right. Here, there's really not much you have to do. It's set for a 24-hour wait. You can bring this up. You can bring this down. It's set for compliant hours. What I recommend going down, no, this is a loop. So if you go down, like to 2 hours, you're just going to spam the hell out of your leads. And that's really no way to get somebody's attention. So 24 hours or above is recommended. All right. Call to action achieved. So this one is you're going to set what you're trying to do with the contact. Again, if you're trying to book an appointment, this one is set up for booking an appointment, right? And this one is pre-configured to just say they have some sort of appointment, right? The last appointment is not empty. So the contact that's going through here has booked an appointment at some point, some way, somehow. So if you're testing this and you say, oh, it's not working, it's probably because you have an appointment at some point, right? That's what this is checking for. You can change this. You can configure this to however you want. Another one for appointment booking is checking your appointment confirmation workflow. Are they active in that workflow? Obviously, if they are, they've booked an appointment. So there's a couple ways that you can do that. I just keep mine on here because obviously anyone that I'm talking with that I'm going to be actively following up with hasn't scheduled a call with me. You can do the same for paid invoice, signed document, whatever you want. This is where you set your call to action. I'll let you get creative with that. I'm going to leave mine how it is. All right. Next, setting our follow-up limit. I have it defaulted to 5. And all this is just saying is when this comes through, because we track how many times a lead has been followed up with, we're going to set a limit at 5. Once they get to 5, we're just going to take them out. We're not going to follow up with them anymore. You can set this limit higher. You can set this limit lower. I have it defaulted at 5. You do whatever you like here. This is the maximum attempts on a contact to follow up with them. So use that at your discretion. Now, this is where we're going to get a little bit complicated. And, I guess that's a relative term. Don't get overwhelmed here. You don't have to touch any of this. Make it easy on yourself. All we have to do is put in our Assistable key here and our OpenAI key here. So let's go to OpenAI here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to paste it here. No bearer on this provider key, by the way. No bearer here. All right. And on the authorization, I'm going to grab this API key that I made here. And I am going to put bearer here, right? So I'm going to put my key there. So it's going to be bearer, then my key. This is it. You don't have to touch this anymore, right? Unless you want to get fancy with it, unless you know what you're doing. And I put this in the doc. Unless you know what you're doing, there's no point of going any further on this. Just keep it as it is. And then all this other stuff is configured for you. It's just going to count the follow-ups. It's going to check this response here. If it's good to go, you have all your API keys and everything, you'll get a success and it'll retry. And if you get an error, it'll let you know you got an error and it's still going to try. So this is really all we have to do here. Now, the only thing, so we've kind of walked through step 1, 2, 3, all right, 4, 5, and then we're just going to finish off here to this last workflow, which is goal achieved, and we're going to match this trigger up here to the same goal that we put in that last workflow. Again, this is just a fail-safe, a fallback, to say if this happens at some point, we just want to make sure they're taken out, just in case it's not captured in the other one for whatever reason, right? So make your trigger. Again, this one's set up for appointment booking. Event type normal, appointment confirmed. It's going to take them out, right? And so even next time they go in, they'll be taken out because remember we have that safety there. This is just a safety. Match this trigger for the event that you're looking for on the other one. Booked appointment, etc., etc., etc. All right. That should take us through all the way down here. Make sure it's saved. Make sure you're good to go. And then I'll give you a quick demo of it. So I'll go ahead and I'll create a contact. All right. So I'll create my contact here. And we're going to simulate a conversation with the assistant. All right, so I'm going to go this one here. All right, so this is my assistant tag, meaning this tag's on the person, AI is reaching out to him. So I'm going to simulate a conversation. Say, hey, Jordan, saw you filled out the Facebook form for AI. What caught your eye? I'm going to send that out now. And I'll just copy over another tag so that we can watch it in both places here. So you see, nothing's happened yet, right? I sent a message out. Customer hasn't replied yet, so there's nothing we have to worry about. Now I'm going to reply, and you'll see me get enrolled here. So I'm going to reply to this message as if I'm the lead. I'll say it looks easy, because it is. So now the lead has responded, right? And so they'll be put into the message event, which will enroll them into the forever follow-up, right? And so so we can follow the path here. So I went in because I was an AI lead, and because I was an AI lead, we're still in here, right? If I wasn't, I'd just be taken out. Now I'm waiting 24 hours. So again, the cadence here is I reached out, the lead said something back, the AI responded, right? So right now, we're just waiting for a response. If we get ghosted, like in this scenario, right? This is going to follow the cadence of 24 hours later. It's going to check, did the appointment get booked any somehow way, whether it was conversationally, they went to the website, booked, whatever. If it was, take them out. If not, follow up with them. But you'll notice in the same way here, and again, I'll reply here again. I'll say I'm an agency. So I'll reply here again. All right. And we'll refresh the page. And you notice they went up. Brought it in, took them out, put them back in. And now we're right back where we were. It doesn't look like anything changed, but it took it out. And again, come back through here and made sure that we're right where we need to be. You can even see the execution logs, right? Where we're removed from the workflow. Then we're added back in. And then we go through our steps. And this goes to the cadence of the conversation. Again, we don't want to follow up with someone who's actively talking with us, and we don't want to follow up with someone who is not an AI lead and who has not booked an appointment, or we followed up with too much. That's what all these other things are here for. But let's say that I ghost here. Me as the lead here, Mr. Lead. I ghost you, right? This thing, 24 hours later, I'm just going to speed it up for time's sake. 24 hours later, it's going to get pushed through. It's going to get pushed through that workflow. So it's going to go follow its way down, right? It's going to make the webhook call. You see it making the webhook call now. It's going to go with the follow-up counter. It's going to do all this stuff here. And you'll notice I have a follow-up. Now again, you can adjust your prompt. You can adjust the context. This doesn't share context because it's a chat completion. I've put a basic prompt in here for those who want to mess with the prompt. I've put a basic prompt in here for follow-up. You can play as much as you want in here. In fact, I recommend you probably come in here and add some information about your company, and even reference, if you want to, this last message was here, right? So that we can say 24 hours ago. You can reference here, but that's where you kind of set those parameters. So if I refresh the page, now we're back here. And so now you see we were down here, it sent the response, and then it went up here and said, I'm going to retry, right? So I'm still not going to reply. I'm still ghosting. So it's going to move through here. And again, we're just going to speed up this 24-hour wait. And you can also see here, if I refresh this page, that under AI fields, we have a follow-up counter. So we can see how many times we followed up with them. And again, you can adjust your context, the prompt, whatever it is here. But what it's going to do is just touch points, over and over and over again until that follow-up limit gets set or the call to action has been achieved. This is the basic infrastructure, all you need for follow-up. Until your call to action gets reached, until they D&D, whatever it is how you do it. So that should take you A to Z getting set up, how to refine it, where to get your API keys from, where to put them in, getting everything set up pretty much A to Z. Now, that's done. For those who want to additionally configure this, what would I do? What would I do different? And again, if you're not at the point, if this was, the webhook and everything, if you're like, okay, I got to figure this out, I would stop the video right here. But for those who are a little bit more technical, who like to build, what would I do different here? So if we look at this webhook, it's configured for SMS, right? It's configured for SMS and OpenAI. I could probably come in here and throw in a Llama model and get a Grok key and use Llama for follow-up. That may be really good. They all will work. Whatever you plug in here will work, right? Just put in your Grok key instead of your OpenAI key. And I'd probably adjust this prompt. This prompt, I would give a little bit more context to the situation. I put a very generalized one. In fact, if, I come here and I paste it, very generalized, just to say, hey, look, take a look at the conversation, reply. So I would probably come in here and give it a little bit more context. Hey, 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever you set up here, right? The lead has not gotten back with us. This is what we do. This is who we are, yada, yada, yada. Just so it has context, because again, this will be a completion. This is not an assistant call. This is, we basically stood up an endpoint to transfer your threads, your assistant threads, into a chat completion for all these different models. So it's actually a pretty technological, cool thing. But if I wanted to come in here and adjust it, I'd probably run a Llama model. I will probably run a Llama model. I would adjust this with a little bit more context rather than a generalized prompt. And then I would structure this because it's hard set for type SMS here, right? And to change this, it's not as easy as just saying, oh, do Instagram, do Facebook. These are the input types for this, right? This is what we'll recognize. This is what GoHighLevel recognizes: SMS, IG, Facebook. If I were getting a little bit more complex with this, what I would do is I would go to message event. I would set specific triggers for events, right? So replied workflow, or I'd say reply channel is SMS. And I'd say do the same thing. Customer replied, channel, Instagram DM. And I'd say customer replied, reply channel, Facebook Messenger. All right. And I can just set an if else here. And I can say, which trigger? And I can say SMS. The workflow trigger was SMS, whatever it is here, right? I forgot you need to save here for those to pop up. And you should probably name them, right? Just to show you. SMS. This one was IG. And this one was Facebook. Right? So we have all those different things, and I would set different branches here for Facebook. Workflow trigger is Facebook. IG. Workflow trigger is IG. All right, and then none of the other ones there. And I can move these here. And I can do that because I just have SMS, Instagram, Facebook. So they're going to have to fit in these, there's really no other path, right? So we'll use this as a catch-all. In fact, just to visualize it. Catch-all. And what I would do is, I'm not going to go through the whole thing and doing it, but what I would do is just take an example. Let me just use this random one, but I would probably call it channel. Just channel. And I would say, obviously if it's going through SMS, channel is going to be SMS, right? And just set channel. So channel's SMS there. Channel is FB there. You notice I'm still following the cadence of here. Channel is IG. So I have all of my channels set here. Now all I need to do is a go to here. I can just copy, or I can just do this all the way across. Okay. And remove from workflow, add to workflow. So now I've accounted for the different channels. And I think, while I'm in here, I may as well just even set this up. I'll probably end up setting this up. And so now I can reference this, right? I don't even remember what the custom field was. But I can just reference that custom field. I think it was that one. And so now I have my type stored. Now I can follow up in Facebook, Instagram, and SMS. But we all know Facebook, you need, less than 24 hours. So maybe I'd set mine to 23 hours or something like that. But easy enough. I will probably, while I'm here, just do that for you. This should take you A to Z. This should kind of get you acquainted with this. This is a recursive workflow, just for those who are, getting into workflow building, systems building. This is a recursive workflow, meaning it is a loop. It follows up with itself. These are very beneficial for different things like customer success, follow up, yada, yada, yada. You can really use these to your advantage. So this is a recursive follow-up workflow with safeties along the way. This should get you started for a full comprehensive guide on getting this set up for you. And just as an example here, let me make sure I have everything saved so we don't break anything. But just to kind of show you, so if I go here and I'll book a random appointment. So I'll book a random appointment. Let me just do for 12. So I'll book an appointment. So the appointment's been booked. And then what you notice is that it's going to take me out. See my goal achieved. I achieved my goal, took me out. And now, you're like, well, they still go back through. Well, even if they do, right? If I don't have some sort of in my appointment confirmation reminder, remove the tag, even if they still go through again, and they still have the assistant tag on them, this will catch. Now that they have a booked appointment, they don't have to get followed up with again. So I hope that's a good comprehensive overview. The video is going to be a little longer, but I figured I'd go through all of it here now, just so, as you build this, there's more understanding of how it works, how to properly use it, how to customize it a little bit. And I think while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and do this part for you just to make it real easy. So I hope that's helpful. Happy Tuesday.